What up, guys? I'm former UFC fighter and current owner of Easton Training Center, Eliot Marshall.
I'm Scott Nickel, teaching pastor at Flatirons Community Church.
Scott, am I fucking going to hell?
Yes.
Welcome to the Saint
And the Sinner. All right, everybody, welcome to Saint and the Sinner. We're back with our lovely radio microphone here that, by all accounts, sound improved last week. So we're way happier.
I'm going to try to talk and express my points like Sam Harris with no tone.
Don't do that, because then we can't hang out.
No, nothing. I'm just going to try to stay even-keeled and calm.
Can't handle that. It's unsettling.
Time. It's a little weird, right?
Especially coming from you.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like my Jesus almost.
Yeah, I know. Like, you tweeted him this week.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. What's that?
He's big time.
He's too big time to me. I gotta tweet. What I have to do is I have to tweet Rogan.
Yeah. And
then get Rogan to try to help me out.
Yeah, because they're buddies.
Because they're buddies.
Yeah. So Sam Harris does jiu-jitsu. What belts is he?
I don't even care. I told him I'd give him as many. I was trying to fit as many of my credentials into 120 characters as I could.
I'm former UFC fighter. Black belt. Please come to my podcast.
No. I had 4-time Pan champ, 9-time Dr. Chris champ. Like, I had all this stuff on there, and I'm like, okay, I gotta erase. You know, to try to fit all this stuff.
That's what I do on Twitter, is I just say what I want to say, and then I'll look for ways to
cut it.
Yeah.
With this 120 characters nonsense.
Yeah.
I should, I blew it, because the pictures do it. Like, when you post on social media, pictures get it. I should have posted a pic of me breaking Vera's arm in the UFC. Right? Yeah. And then that might have helped a little bit.
Yeah, pictures paying a lot of
I'm going to tweet him again. Don't worry.
All right. Stay with it. I'd like to have him.
I'm destroying you enough. I can't imagine what's going to happen when Sam Harris
ever since Leicester's been on, Elliot's head's gotten really, really big about
No, I let it go. I let it go. Your own team came out and said I'm destroying you.
So you say, this is my friend Matt Johnson.
Yes.
Who says that you're
you call him out.
So MJ, Matt Johnson, if you think Elliot's destroying me, I need you to hit me up and let me know, man. You can't just, I don't want to hear from a friend of a friend of a friend who's having drinks with Eliot on Saturday night in Boulder. Wherever you were. So, yeah. So
one quick point I want to make.
We're supposed to have Cody Donovan on right now, just for the record.
Yes.
You gotta get control of your cough.
Dude, it was gone all week.
Yeah.
Like, I had it all day, all night Saturday.
Now it's back.
And then it was gone yesterday.
I want to get it looked at.
No, I saw my friend that I was out to dinner with, a friend.
Yeah.
He's a doctor, so he called me in a prescription.
Take care of
I'm about to take some roids, son.
Are you? All right.
Huge.
All right. So Cody Donovan is supposed to be on with us right now, but he's not a grown-up and he can't get out of bed in time. And so he left Aurora at 6:30 in the morning. And so everybody knows we film at 7 in the morning, because this is when grown men get up and go to work and do things.
Or if they want to do things extra,
they gotta
get up earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't be like, hey, babe, at noon I'm going to go do this podcast with Scott. I know you have the kids and all, but
doesn't work that way.
That's
So Cody got up in Aurora at 6:30 and thought he was going to be in Boulder in time to sit down and actually film. And so here we are at about 20 after 7, and he's not here yet. So he's going to come in at some point, probably, maybe.
When the door opens,
When the door opens, and
he will reveal himself.
Yeah.
So anyway, did you know there was riots in Fort Collins this weekend?
In Fort Collins?
Yeah, the college kids rioted. Yeah, for sure. What's
what?
that?
Over
Who knows? Who knows what they rioted over, right? You know what they were doing? You know what they were doing?
What?
They were pulling out street signs, stop signs, throwing them at the police, right? Throwing bottles.
Like the whole sign.
The whole sign.
Wow.
You know what didn't show up?
What?
The fucking army.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No tank.
Strangely enough.
No tank.
With a bunch of farming white kids.
Yeah, with a bunch of white kids, right? A bunch of white kids. No tank. No. Guess what? My brother-in-law, the only reason I know this is because my brother-in-law was at the riots, because he goes to school up in Fort Collins, right? He said they didn't even have a gun.
What
the SWAT team, they just had their shield and their bow stick, and guess what? Everybody dispersed.
What was the riot for?
I don't know, man. Some dumb shit the college kids rioted for, right? Who knows? Right? But the point is, like the post that I made, and I stole it from a guy, Dan Carlin, whose podcast I listen to. You know, it's called Common Sense. He does hardcore history, and he does this other one called Common Sense.
Okay.
You know, and hardcore history is like about, he does like these long series, like 4 episode series.
About like World War II.
About whatever it is. And Common Sense is about current events. And the Common Sense one, he made 2 awesome points in the Common Sense one. And I posted, I don't know if all of you, I know all of you don't go on the Facebook page. His 2 points were one, that this one incident is just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
You know, like he was like, look, he worked in L.A. during the Rodney King, you know, during the Rodney King, let's just call it era time.
Right.
You know, and he was like for 3, 4, 5 years before, he had all these black people calling. He worked for a newspaper, you know, and saying, hey, the cops just beat up my son, my brother, my father, my, you know, whatever male African American you want to choose in your family. And he would be like, he was the one who answered the phone. Was like, look, do you have evidence?
Yeah.
You know, can you show me that the cops did this? That you didn't get in a fight with your your brothers didn't get in a fight, or what's the evidence that the cops did this? You know, and they're like, well, no, we don't have it. You know, so he's like, well, we can't come out. Like, you can't show us this.
Yeah.
He's like, and Rodney King, when Rodney King was nothing different. He was just everybody's evidence.
Right. Right.
All these people that said that this has been going on for 4 years, 5 years, were like, look, motherfuckers, we told you that this is how it goes for us.
Yeah, it's the classic tipping point thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're saying, you know, his point was, he goes, I don't even know what happened. Yeah. You know, he's like, I'm not going to talk about any of the evidence that happened in the Michael Brown case.
Right.
It's just the tipping point.
Right.
It's the straw that broke the camel's back of the people going, this has been happening, here's our evidence.
Yeah.
Don't even care about anything else, right? And his second point, which is the best point, I think, when you bring the military like that, and you point tanks with loaded machine guns on top of them, and you point them at the citizens of this country, you've gone too far.
Yeah. And the whole militarization of the police force was a big point.
And this does not help any situation.
Oh, yeah, it escalates everything.
It escalates everything. Because all of a sudden now you're pointing this machine gun at me, right? And it was kind of interesting because I had this argument with my 2 brother-in-laws, you know, and the one brother-in-law that was in Fort Collins, and it was a week ago, was I was arguing with him, and he was like, I don't know, Eliot, I don't know. So yesterday we're painting, you know, because they were disagreeing with me that it was okay for them to do that to the people in Ferguson, right? So yesterday we're painting my garage, and he's telling me this story. And I'm like, oh, really, Josh? You guys rioted, huh? He goes, yeah. I was like, did the military show up? And he looks at me and goes, uh-oh, you might be right. I was like, what would have happened if the military would have shown up with a tank? I was like, would you have been happy or mad about that? He goes, oh, man, I would have been furious.
Yeah.
Goes,
what were they rioting about? Do you guys know?
No, they just college kids. We riot.
Yeah. No, it's a Bible college, man.
So
did you riot about anything in college?
Dude, we
riot? Yes! Full-fledged riot. What did you riot about?
I don't know. We lost a football game. Who knows, man?
Oh, man, it was a big deal in Mississippi this weekend, man.
Yeah, Ole Miss beat Alabama.
They brought the goalposts down.
I'm sure riots went on there, too.
Oh, they went crazy.
I'm sure in only the black neighborhoods did the cops come with the guns.
Speaking of college football, man, everybody's losing.
Everyone lost.
Everyone
losing.
Lost. 5 out of the top 8 have lost.
Yeah.
So this final
only FSU.
This Final Four thing's gonna be, and FSU's almost lost a couple times.
Yeah. Well, the one time without Jameis Winston, and the one time with him.
Right. So it'll be interesting, man, with this Final Four thing. There could be some strange teams, and there's gonna be a bunch of one.
But it's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of good. It's the way it should be.
It's
the way it should be. They need to make you know. I hate the way college athletics is set up.
Even basketball?
All of it.
What do you not like about basketball?
Because pay the kids.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Pay the kids, man.
Yeah.
Pay the kids.
The problem is you get into the secondary sports and things like that.
You can't be moving because you're blocking the sun. My eye right now. Every time you move, I go. So if you guys see me jumping like I'm getting punched in the face, it's because Hank's moving out of the way of the sun.
We're high tech up in here.
We got a nice little stand for
our night. It's trash,
yeah. The biggest argument for the pay the kids in college football is the Fab Five.
Yeah.
Have we gone over this already?
Well, I don't know if we've talked about it before, but Jalen Rose in that documentary, made a good point of like saying he would be out walking down the street and see like his jersey number, and a Michigan shirt for sale.
The black socks.
Yeah, the black socks.
The black socks. The black socks is what did it. So these kids were poor. The Fab Five. The Fab Five was a bunch of 5 freshmen that came in and played for Michigan and were just off the hook good. They ended up going to 2 national championships in a row. They ended up losing both of them, but they were still no freshman. It was a freshman, so no true freshman team had ever done this before.
No.
And they God, I hate to say it because I don't want to make it such a race thing, but they kind of epitomized black culture at the time, right?
Yeah,
they all from the inner city.
They wore their
shorts all low, and they were baggy, and they were poor. So the way it works when you play high school basketball, a lot is that at a lot of schools, when you travel to another team, when you're on a road game, you have to wear a suit, shirt and tie, and nice shoes and socks. Well, these kids were so broke that they couldn't afford nice socks and basketball socks, right? Because they couldn't either do the wash or whatever it is. So they ended up wearing their black dress socks to play basketball in, right? So then when they got to Michigan, Nike made these kids some actual basketball socks and just gave them, the school gave them to them, Well, they're the first kids to do this. Nike went on. Cody Donovan.
Oh, Cody Donovan is here.
What's up, Brendan?
How you doing, man? Oh, wow.
What's up, Brendan? Did you hit traffic?
If I knew that I had to get up at 5:30 to make this thing, I would say
no. Did you hit traffic?
It wasn't the shop traffic. This was real traffic.
Did you hit traffic though, right? So anyway, let me finish my Nike story.
We gave you the little beer.
So Nike went on to make billions and billions of dollars off these black socks.
Yeah, and even their warm-up shirts, they made
billions. And these kids can't get any of it. And all of this money, billions of dollars, was because of these 5 kids.
Yeah.
And they didn't see a penny of it.
Yeah.
And some of them went on, 3 of them went on to play in the NBA. 2 of them didn't.
Jimmy King and Ray Jackson did
Jimmy
not.
King and Ray Jackson did not. I think Jimmy King owns a car wash,
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, but whatever. He's had an okay life,
Yeah.
But he's not a fucking billionaire like he should be.
Yeah.
And even Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, and Jalen Rose, who did go to the NBA and made millions, they should have quadruple that just off the black socks alone.
Yeah, and Jalen Rose's point was like me and Chris are fine, but like these guys should have been taken care of, So yeah, college athletics is not what it used to be. It's a major revenue driver.
Juwan Howard's fine too.
Yeah, he's okay.
He played
in the league forever.
I think he's still in the league.
Yeah, he's probably still sitting on the Miami Heat's bench or
he's
something.
in the league for 15 years.
Yeah.
20 years, something like that. With them league minimum of like $500,000, and you make more than that the first couple.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So 20 years at $500,000 a year, you're sitting pretty.
Nice.
Shake and bake. What's up, baby?
Cody Donovan. So everybody knows this is Cody. Probably the most.
Cody is the catalyst of all of this.
Godfather.
Cody is the catalyst of all of this.
So none of this would exist.
You are probably the most often mentioned guy on the podcast.
No, I think Vinny was.
Vinny
called in. Vinny called in a lot.
He's on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Vinny's Puerto Rican and never on time.
Yeah. Oh man,
he just is, and I'd say that to his whole family.
Okay.
But
the Puerto Rican and never on time is the problem. No. The Puerto Rican and never on time is the problem. God damn, I thought Scott and I agreed on the last shit, man.
I would say that we had black senior while he was.
Do we have black people time?
Huh?
Is there such thing as black people time?
I had some black friends.
Oh yeah! Here comes the next cliche. I got a black friend.
They referred to it as CP time.
Yeah, colored people time.
And I didn't know what that was. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I call it RCP time, but that's a different one. Retired colored people time is even worse than CP time.
Is it? So how many more minutes is that?
What's that?
How many more minutes?
I don't know, man. Call my fucking dad. So my dad's gonna cook dinner at 5, and the next thing you know, he's getting off the couch at 6:30. And I'm like, Dad, I got 2 kids here that go to bed at 7:30, and you're just getting ready to cook dinner, and I've been asking you for an hour and a half.
Oh man. So anyway, this is Cody Donovan, former UFC fighter and current owner of High Altitude. How do we say that?
We got a few days until I'm the owner of High Altitude.
I want that one.
Do you want it?
What's that?
I'll trade you this shirt for one of those shirts.
Fuck yeah, son.
The one he's actually wearing. You're gonna take that?
I can wash that.
Make this
You know how much Cody and I probably have each other's sweat on each other more than any 2 people in the history of the world.
I bet. So
because we're both sweaty, dirty motherfuckers.
When did you? He's
gonna sweat here in a minute.
I'm like a salamander.
Yeah. How we doing?
I'm probably sweating already.
It's gonna get there.
Talking makes me sweat.
Especially sitting in traffic.
Yeah, just hits.
How did you guys first meet?
I
always like to get back to the
through
roots of
Dwayne
things.
through Dwayne Ludwig and through Nate.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand the catalyst of all of this was me wanting to fight. I'm all calling Dwayne and saying, "Hey, Eliot can't punch and kick for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help him?"
Yeah, and this whole team thing.
So then Dwayne had a group of guys in Aurora, me, Nate, and Christian, and
he would train with.
Mm-hmm. And then he brought in Eliot and Tyler.
Yeah,
and it just that was kind of the beginning.
So Dwayne was like, "You guys need to spar with some more people. I'm tired of beating you up for 10 rounds and watching you cry."
Yeah.
You know, so let's get some other.
Whoa! But that's not the first time I met him. Okay,
we got another good Eliot asshole story.
The first time I met him was at Chipotle. All right, because I was in college and I'm just eating a burrito. And I got a jiu-jitsu hoodie on, and he comes up to me and he denies this part, but I swear to God, he's speaking with like a fake Portuguese accent.
Oh my God, I've never done the fake Portuguese accent.
Hello, my friend.
Don't fucking lie, you son of a bitch. Now you're lying. No, I've never gone hello, my friend, unless I'm making fun of Griff.
You might not have done that.
Okay, thank you.
But he comes up and he's like, "Oh, you train jiu-jitsu, huh?" You know, like kind of like punking me, and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Where?"
I punked nobody in my life, but go ahead.
So Eliot has a
Eliot's a bully.
Eliot has a
really coming together.
Eliot has a bully side of him for sure, and he tried to give it to me when I was in college.
Oh, there's a rule that we have.
What?
I have a shot clock. If the shot clock, I gotta make fun of somebody.
He hasn't picked on somebody.
I gotta shake. I gotta get on somebody.
I have to insult someone soon.
Yeah. So is it an NBA shot clock or is it a college shot clock?
It depends on my atmosphere. You know.
Right.
I also used to deliver T-shirts to Easton Jiu-Jitsu when I was in college. I worked at a T-shirt shop.
Okay.
So I kind of
what was it called again?
Goodbye Blue Monday.
Goodbye Blue Monday. Yeah.
I had this image in my head of Eliot being an asshole, right? So then, to top that off, I find out we're all going to start training together. Nate tells me, like, all right, we're going to start sparring with Eliot. So I see him in a tournament.
I had no knowledge of this.
Okay, but
I had no knowledge. All of a sudden, Dwayne literally called us on Monday night and said, "You're going to meet me here."
Sure, but the week before, I see him at a Fight to Win tournament. It might not even been Fight to Win.
It was Mauricio's tournament.
Mauricio's old tournament.
It was the Rocky Mountain Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, bro, I heard you're working on your striking. That's awesome." And he's just like, looks at me like,
I had no clue who he was.
You know, like,
yeah.
I don't remember the Chipotle thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Because this is just a normal thing.
You were there with
like,
Renee and your sister-in-law.
At Chipotle.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't remember it. So you have to understand, right? Now hold on. How many people, once you started fighting, came up to you and said, "Hey, I heard you're fighting, yada, yada, yada"?
Yeah, but you weren't a fighter yet.
I was. Because I had already fought by the time we were fighting. A couple times. So it doesn't end.
You were out there fighting like Hoist.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Hands out.
Hell yeah.
Did you wear a gi in your first fight?
Did I wear a gi to the cage?
No.
Did you? Yeah. Before you were black belt?
What's that?
When did you become a black belt?
No, I was a brown belt when I first started fighting.
All right. So Vinny told the story of the first time he trained with Eliot at Grudge. He thought he had made it through all his rounds. And then Eliot
called Cody did this shit too. We all did this to people when they first came and trained with us.
And then Eliot called him out.
Kind of set up.
Yeah, you gotta kind of what?
You know, whip their ass a little bit, let them know.
Yeah. So he calls Vinny out, he kicks him in the head, all this kind of thing. So that was his first experience.
You have to fuck people up the first time, right? We've talked about this. This is what we believe is a little bit of the issue right now.
But we talked about that. But there always is this thing whenever a new guy would come to the team where Eliot was like, "That guy's not ready." And I'd be like, "Just give him a chance." There's always this like me trying to get these new guys on. Bren was one of them. Vinny for sure.
No, Vinny came with Thatch the first time.
Yeah, I remember you being like,
so I fucked him up.
He's a bodybuilder. He ended up being a great striker.
Yeah, I like Vinny eventually. I like Vinny. He's a great dude. But you gotta fuck him up at first.
Yeah.
So I have no see. So this is why sometimes people have a hard time with me, right? It's because when you fight, and everyone's like this, right? When you fight, you have to have this thing that you're like, "I'm gonna fuck you up."
Yeah.
Right? You have to. You have to have it. If you don't have this thing that I'm going to fuck you up, then please don't ever step into a cage.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to have it like, I'm going to fuck everybody up. True or not true? You have to.
Believe you can.
You have to have this, right? And it can be not even founded in any actual evidence.
Sure.
Right? But if you don't have it, then you just have to believe it. You have to believe it. Because if you don't, then you're going to get fucked up, man.
But I also think...
Yes, like Brendan takes it way too far. And I took it a little less far than Brendan.
Yeah, and
I'm not saying that's not true.
I think that we both had, we would have this thing where you would pick on guys and be like, bro, come on.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I wouldn't.
And Brent takes it way too far. One time our friend Josh told me.
So everybody knows you're talking about Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
You guys are just straight up calling him out.
All right. Whatever.
But he'll admit it, man. He's not going to deny it.
It's not a shame.
He's not going to deny it.
One time our buddy Josh Copeland, who just got signed with the UFC, Josh goes up to him after Lawrence and says,
are you going to tell this story?
I'll tell it. I don't care.
Fuck.
He's like, hey, Brent, you want to go to lunch? And Brent,
no, hold on, because the three of us were going to lunch. Me, Brandon, and you were going to lunch.
And he's like, can I come to lunch? And Brent turns around and says, say the Make-A-Wish Foundation or something like that. And I was just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
So messed up.
Yeah.
Like, why would you say
Did he go to lunch or not?
No, I wasn't invited. I wanted it.
We were all, so me and you were sitting like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, we went to lunch and like, Brandon, come on, man, what the fuck, bro?
I love Josh. I would have liked
I didn't even like him at the time, but still, I was like, dude, what the fuck? It's like, dude, it's fucking Chipotle, man. We're not going to like Ellie's or some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Brandon's got a fight coming up soon, and Travis Brown is his opponent. Man.
I'm nervous about Travis.
That's a tough.
I'm nervous about Travis Brown, though.
Because he was so rough his last loss?
No, because he changed camps.
Oh, yeah.
He changed camps to Ronda's coach.
Yep.
But they don't have any heavyweights.
Yeah.
Right?
He's with Ronda's coach. He's in San
He's in LA.
Yeah.
And he's saying that they're going to like bring people in and stuff, you know?
Because he left Jackson.
He left Jackson's. Well, not technically. I read this interview with him. You know what I mean?
Kind of weird.
He's saying they're going to bring people in. And I just don't know how that goes, you know? And I see his point with Jackson's is he's like, look, for my last 3 fights, John Jones and Arlovsky, like they fought and then my camp started, so they're not there, you know? So I don't have, you know? Like, so I see that point of it too.
Yeah.
But.
So you're finished fighting now, so what's so far the like biggest thing what's been the hardest part of the thing you miss about it or anything like that? I mean, you're right fresh off of retirement. Just retired.
It sucks, man.
Yeah.
The whatever makes you want to fight in the first place doesn't go away.
Sure.
You know, and
this is true.
Yeah,
fighting's just who you are.
That's quite true.
Yeah.
Little science shirt for Eliot today.
I wore my Cody Donovan shirt for you today.
I'm wearing my Cody Donovan shirt to work out in.
Yeah.
All right. We had to talk about this the other day. In order for a fighter to fight well, he has got to be able to be broken mentally by his coaches again and again and again throughout a camp. And that's kind of what builds you. It's like making a sword. You got to heat it up and beat the shit out of it, you know? And I with this torn abductor, these hernias, all these injuries that should have been addressed that weren't, my camps were getting shorter and shorter and shittier. And I'm friends with all my coaches, so I'm able to like make it, I'm hurt, dude, I'm taking the day off, all this. And the product of that is just these kind of lackluster fights where, I'm always going to scrap just because that's in me. But then what's going to happen after the scrap? You know what I mean? Like, so I go out there and have a war for a round, and then I just shitty camp, shitty fights,
I never thought any of your fights were lackluster. That's definitely not the way I would describe them.
Sure, but I'm just ruining my name. I lost 3 fights in a row. I never thought that would happen. So it's time to move on, man. There's so many other things I want to do.
Your body couldn't handle the camp. Your body could handle a fight, but it couldn't handle the work that you needed to be mentally and then even a little more physically prepared for the fight.
And if I was going to be very specific, my body could not handle wrestling practice. And wrestling practice is always what forged me.
Yeah.
That's what would make me
hard sparring. You never hard sparred.
Yeah.
And
I had like a week or something.
Yeah. So we hard spar once.
Yeah.
Just to see if you could do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where you need to, Cody's point of what makes you ready for a fight is that you probably cried in the shower 10 times during camp. Like, oh my God, I cannot do this anymore. You know?
So my body will break way before my heart's going to break, you know? And
what makes you ready for the fight is that your mind and your heart break. And that you've been broken so many times in camp. And then by the end of camp, you're like, I'm not fucking breaking.
Yeah.
You know? And then when you get into the cage, like you're literally willing to die.
Yeah.
You know? I can remember, having fights, I'm sure you do beforehand, you're like, if I have to die today, then so be it. Mm-hmm. And this is part of the part that's so scary. Yeah. It's because you're willing to take that risk to die.
Yeah, you're going to go to riots.
Yeah, the hotel room's like a cave, man.
Yeah.
At some point in that hotel room, something in you forges and changes, and you're like, well, never going to see anybody again. I'm going to die. You're not going to die. It's
That's where you go to.
Yes,
it's where you go to.
Yeah.
It's where you go
come out of there ready to die.
It is kind of weird to sit in that, like, you know, the one time I was with you, like, to watch somebody transform as they're headed to the head.
And I actually had a decent camp for that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good camp. I mean, it was a short notice fight, but it was a good camp.
Yeah. Out of all your, so you had 4 fights in the UFC and then what, like 8 or 9 outside of the UFC? Something like that?
Yeah, it got kind of mixed in the beginning. Some of my first pros got kind of counted as amateurs. I don't even know. I think I have about 17, 18 fights.
Yeah. What's like most memorable moment?
All the fights?
All of it.
Elliot's face after I knocked out Nick Penner was pretty intense. He was just like, so what the hell was that?
So hold on.
Pretty intense.
That was a fight.
Earlier in the fight, I thought the fight was going to be stopped. So I literally
got knocked out.
You got knocked out, right? I'm walking up the steps into the cage with the bucket to be like, fuck, you know? And then all of a sudden I'm seeing that the ref is not stopping the fight. Like the ref's doing something else. Yeah. So I like slowly walk backwards. You know, and I woke up like, but in your head up, and my head hit the floor. And this is the craziest part is that when I look back at like my memory of it, he hit me. And I remember like laying on like soft pillows, and I was like, why are those people being so loud? I remember thinking all that, and all of a sudden like somebody, you know, and then I wake back up in the fight. Well, you watch the video, and it's like this.
It's so
fast. Yeah, it's like my head hits the ground, I'm awake.
I'll never forget that fight because we had just started to get to know each other pretty well, you know, and the fight was at 4:00 in the afternoon here. You guys were in Australia.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So I told Eli about it. And so he literally ran as fast as he could home from the bus. I remember him running down the sidewalk. And I'm like, he's walking to this cage. Hurry up. We get in there and we're both just like screaming at the television.
Because it was Friday.
Yeah.
And we fought on Saturday. Saturday morning. We fought at 9 o'clock. It was awesome. That was the best thing ever, right? Just woke up. Got to go wake up. You didn't drink, but I got to get drunk and sober again after his fight. Right? You know what I mean? I was drunk by 2 and sober by 6 and went to bed at 10. It was awesome.
I woke up early, walked down to the beach, prayed, went back, got on the bus, drove there, had a fight.
Yeah,
but then afterwards, I couldn't remember what happened. So we're driving.
This was terrible.
We're driving to the hospital, and I keep being like,
"Oh, he remembers getting knocked out. He didn't remember knocking the guy out."
I'm like, "Man, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry." He's like, "Bro, you won." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. He thought we were going to the hospital because he lost, and I'm like, "Dude, you won, homie." He's like, "Really?" And I'm like. He's like, why are you telling me that, Eliot? I'm like, because you did, bro.
I'm like, bro, you don't need to mess with me. Yeah, I thought he was just like messing with me.
You know,
I had a broken eye. My skull.
I was like, because you won, man. Yeah. He's like, come on. I'm like, no, dude, you might get fight of the night. He's like, how? Like, but you got knocked out twice and got up and then you knocked him out.
Like, that's actually a perfect transition because the discussions that we had in Australia is why I brought him up to you.
Yes. Yeah. So he was like, man, leading up to the fight and everything, Eliot, because you just the 2 of you down there, right?
Yeah.
You guys were having some of these deep philosophical, religious.
Cody and I always do this. We always do this. This is not abnormal for me and Cody.
Right.
Like, because we used to be on the same team, and then the motherfucker left me. Right? But I don't think he was all the way on my team. I think he was floating in. I think he was floating in purgatory.
Yeah,
you know, he was floating in purgatory.
Stupid.
And you grew up going to church a little bit.
Yeah, I grew up going to church. I went to church as a kid.
You told me at one time didn't you have a memory of like a pastor, somebody, a priest, or somebody like hitting you with a ruler or something like that?
It was a dry marker. He used to throw them at us. Pastor Winter, wherever you are. I grew up to be a tough guy. He would take.
Oh, Pastor Winter.
He's like so old now. So we had this kid named Ryan Rebow. He's a good friend of mine. Ryan with mouth. He threw this dry marker across the room. We were in like a catechism class and cracked Ryan in the forehead and made him bleed. There's no remorse either. Just didn't even care.
Does that get chalked up to religion or no?
Huh?
Does that get chalked up to religion?
Just an asshole.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. I agree with you.
I like where you're going.
I agree with you. You are correct. He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so Cody comes back from the fight. He's like, "Man, I need to get you together with Eliot sometime because you know you guys were getting in all these arguments and stuff like that." And so he was like, "I want to get you two together, that kind of thing." But we had met several times, and
I hadn't met you yet.
We talked about it like Dwayne's thing.
Yeah, I hadn't met you yet. Dwayne's thing came after Cody's fight.
Me and you had that. I got drunk.
No. Scott and I had already
wanted to text him.
Yeah,
you guys had met at that point.
We had met at that point. Yeah, we had met. We weren't friends, but we had met. Okay. Dwayne's thing had happened already. Dwayne had already left.
Yeah, I mean, so then it was.
Arguing did not go.
Fuck you, man! You're not my fucking friend.
No.
Yes. You were so mad
by the end.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't conveniently leave out all the things that you said, I'm sure. But
no, I made my normal arguments. You're delusional, yada yada. I haven't changed my argument ever.
That's not the right way. But you can't you can't hear the person's voice in a text.
It's terrible. It's terrible. No, so I'm sure I said one of my typical things that everyone on the Facebook page gets mad at too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he got really mad. Yeah. I'm not saying that I don't say things, right? But when I say
a few fallouts like that, one time at Lawrence,
my God. We were so.
I was in a swing.
Hold on, just so everybody heard that. With a dumbbell.
But you have to understand, right? So this goes back to it, though. This goes back to the fighting thing, because I was in the UFC and you were trying to get there.
Yeah.
And we were close, right? So he's trying to catch me, and I can never let this motherfucker catch me. Of course. And he's trying to do everything he can to get there, right? And we're the only 205ers on the team, and we fucked each other up all the time. Yeah. So, if you fuck somebody up a little bit, you got to keep fucking them up. Yeah. And we probably scrapped 10 times because of it.
Sure. So one day I'm in a sling, and he's like, I just had shoulder surgery, and he's like mouthing off, giving me a hard time, telling me I'm not. He's like, you're not like me. We don't do the same thing.
I never have said this to you in my life. You are so crazy. You are on fire. I have never said that to me. You are my friend. I would never say that to you.
He said, we don't do the same thing.
Oh my fucking God.
He said, we don't do the same thing. He said,
just so you know, if this is strap number 11 that's about to happen, I'm not breaking it up. I'm not getting in the middle.
Dumbbell, and Lauren's like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to smash him over the head with his I was like shaking.
I've never said that to you. No way.
Cody's got a real primal fighter thing in him. Like he's got some scary stuff down there, man.
Oh yeah.
And he's got a nerd side.
My wife got mad at me for this weekend. Because I don't have the primal inner anger thing.
Not angry.
I don't think it's an inner anger.
Joy.
Yeah, but it's inner, right? Yeah. I don't
little sociopathic.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I disagree. I think it's part of evolution. I think that without people like me, my village wouldn't have survived. Okay? There you go.
Because you burned down everybody else.
Yeah, because I'm a warrior.
But you can't say evolution. Scott doesn't believe in that shit, man.
We've been down that path. He likes to always bring this back up, even though this is one of our
points of agreement tonight.
I know. Of course. I need a Christian to tell Scott how wrong he is.
So no, we had the evolution talk. Anyway, so did you know that I was coming to Cody's fight when we went to Vegas?
No.
So you walked into the
I walked in and I was like, fuck.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know. No, I walked in and I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to listen to ambush.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to have to listen to this fucking pastor going off about Jesus.
I'm not going to hang out with some I don't know the term.
Bible thumper.
Yeah, I brought my friend who happened to be a pastor.
I hear you. And it turned out great. I get it now, but when I first walked in the room, I was like, fuck. Because the only other pastor I've experienced was that what's the fucking retard with the glasses that travels to all the fights.
I know who you're talking about. I forget his name.
He's from Florida.
Yeah,
he's from Florida. He tries to be all famous. He's a fucking retard, man. He leaves his wife and kids to go try to be famous with fucking.
Get on
we're not going to say his name. We're not going to say his name because I don't want you to hurt.
You know his name?
I know his name, and I don't. And he feels like he's got some kind of calling. I think he's just a fan.
Yeah, he's got some calling.
He's a groupie.
There it is.
He likes you guys.
He's a groupie. He's a groupie that is using.
He saw you like in my little entourage in Vegas, and he was like, it was like a
jealous.
He was like, we're going to have a pastor back.
Yeah, it was a weird,
exactly, but he's a groupie. He's a groupie. That's all it is. You know,
when two pastors fight, is it like the wizards fighting on Lord of the Rings? They start casting spells and knocking each other back.
This is how it goes.
So Cody goes from fighting to Lord of the Rings. This is how it goes. Pretty soon, Dungeons and Dragons coming out.
Couple of pastors battle. They start using spells and shit.
You played Magic, didn't you? You played Magic with those cards?
I did. I remember the kid in high school playing Magic in the hallway that we all got so mad at and kicked the cards across the...
No. But I did play a good amount of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but
you play that at home. The fighting. I don't let me see you play that.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay. The pastor fighting thing is actually where we took a little turn, was when you brought up Joel Osteen, and I was like, bro, if he was in this hotel room, I would kick his ass.
That's where I started to come a little bit to Scott's team. I was like, hell yeah, son.
So we kind of took a step.
Right there. I was like, oh, and this was before the weigh-ins, and Cody, this was before the whiskey down. Yeah, I was like, within the first couple hours.
This is before he told you were going to hell.
Yeah, but that's what our friendship.
Whereas I've told you, go to hell.
But you want me to go to hell. You're like, go to hell.
Different.
And Scott's telling me that he doesn't want me to, right? He would rather me not.
If I get to choose, I don't want Elliot to go to hell.
You know?
You've had moments where you're like, go!
It's a day-to-day thing.
Oh man! So anyway, that kind of got the whole thing started. So you were the catalyst for Satan Center and all that kind of stuff.
He's our God.
Yeah,
He's our God. You're the creator of it.
You're the creator of Satan Center. So we had a dust up on Facebook this week. We had a good old fashioned social media fight.
Brought team people out of the woodwork that were on my team that I didn't even know were on my team.
So I want to get Cody's opinion on this. I'll give a little bit of background, and I won't tell you to feel free to interrupt because you will. So
Elliot, you gotta get my side. I was sitting all back. I gotta get ready for battle now, bitches. Oh God, I said bitches. Remember that girl went off about bitches? Sorry, Mary Jane Martin. Sorry, Mary Jane. I said bitches. Right? I was talking about these bitches, not these bitches.
And you said retard today, so you're really gonna get.
I saw this funny thing on Instagram the other day that said the only B word you should ever call a woman is beautiful. Bitches love being called.
That's at Cody Donovan, whatever you're trying to
I read it online.
Oh shit!
Yeah, if you're quoting, you
don't understand what's going to happen now. You don't understand. People we laughed and it was funny.
Now we'll be in trouble.
Right, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm in trouble mostly.
And Scott made a racist thing today too, so.
Puerto Rican racist, or is that a nationalist thing?
I don't know. It's one of those.
Yeah.
All right,
that's Vinny and Vinny. So Elliot threw the first punch. He posted this little article called "Religion is Evil." All right, so he threw it up on Facebook, and it was a pretty short little article. And do you want to summarize what it said?
I've summarized it a million times. So, what do you want me to say?
So it was basically like religion causes all kinds of evil things.
Which it does, yeah. We're religious people. Yeah.
So a few days later, because this is one of the things that you hear a lot about is like, what about the Crusades and what about the Salem witch trials?
Your numbers are wrong.
And all those kinds of things. Those are pretty good cited numbers, but we can argue about that later. So I post this one that says, okay, what about, all the things that have been done in the name of communism, godless Russia, all these, you get Mao and you get Pol Pot and you get all these different guys and there's millions and millions of deaths that get attributed to this ideology.
Sure.
So the point being was you can play this little back and forth game all you want, going, well, your thing causes evil and your thing causes evil all you want. It doesn't really get us anywhere. I was just trying to balance the scales of the argument back out to get us to that even keel place.
Sure. What? Oh, you want to be even?
Huh?
You want to be even?
What do you mean? Just back to this place of going, yeah, I can say that you're if somebody follows atheism to its logical end, a lot of evil.
There's where you're wrong.
And that's what everybody keeps missing with it.
Why don't you go ask all the Jews that got worked on by Nazi scientists how
they were atheists.
Nice science it was.
Why don't you look at the relationship Papa John posted it between the Nazis and the Pope and the Catholic Church?
But they only did that for leverage.
Yeah, but hold on. Can you please tell me what the rules are for not playing baseball? It was the greatest argument ever. What are the rules for not playing baseball? Give me one rule.
Your point is there's no rules.
There's no rules.
So you're missing.
There's no rules. No, you're missing. You guys are missing the point. If we don't have, there's nothing that tells us what is correct and not correct. There's no book. right? There's no rules in a book that say, this is how you live your life.
There is a book like that.
I know yours.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So you guys have rules.
Well, you guys.
So when you guys just follow your rules,
you guys just update your rules every 20
No,
years.
we don't. We've never updated our rules.
Give me no fucking break. No,
I'm not
giving you a
fucking break.
Yours was flat, right?
Yeah.
Right? And that is a scientific fact. You heard this flat. But the second that they found out it's not flat, they're like, oh, guess what?
We're not talking about science. We're talking about how to live a life. We're not talking about science.
But what I'm talking about is... all right, I'll save that one.
We're not talking about science. So that's the beauty of yes, and what you were saying is the beauty of how I think in all aspects of life. Yes, if you can show me a better way and truth, then I will gladly jump ship. If you show me today, anybody shows me today, right? If you want to just look at science, right? That the Earth is the constant and the sun and everything else rotating on the Earth. Sure. If we can scientifically prove this, I'm fucking down.
Let's say prove it, because scientifically prove it.
Are you going to argue against science now?
No, man, but it's ridiculous. It
can always
science just disproving itself.
That's the whole point of it. It's so great because we're open to being so wrong. And our mind being flipped because we're so wrong. And you guys are just going to sit there on the 6,000-year-old earth and God came from dust. And that there is this man in the sky that actually gives a fuck about each one of you.
I'm glad you're open to being wrong, because here's where you're wrong.
I'm way open to it.
Here's the thing that everybody...
Yes! Fuck yes. Matt Johnson's going to like that. So is Leister.
Here's the thing that everybody keeps missing. When I say that when atheism is followed to its logical conclusion...
There's no logical...
Stop. Go ahead. So when it's followed to its logical conclusion, and there is one, okay, and that's where we're disagreeing. There is a logical conclusion of atheism, all right? Bad things can happen. So back to what I asked you. Hold on. So back to what I asked you. Richard Dawkins, when he said, when the person tweeted to him, they told me the baby I'm going to have has Down syndrome. What should I do? He said, abort it and start again. You said you disagreed.
Yeah.
Now, Dawkins is following the logical. Hold on. The logical conclusion of there's no God, therefore we are just creatures like every other creature. We have no other value beyond that of the dog that's going across the street, so just start over and do it again.
Hold on. Can you show me where that's written down anywhere and that's the logical conclusion? That might be yours. That might be how you as a Christian, because you can't get away from the crap that's been put in your brain that there has to be a doctrine. There is no
based on atheism, tell me why he's wrong to say that.
I'm not telling you that he's wrong. I believe he's wrong.
Just say.
No, it's not for me. I don't think that that's the conclusion.
Okay, so
you are allowed to have an opinion.
Why do you think it's wrong?
Why do I think it's wrong?
Yep.
Because that mom and dad get to make a choice. It would not necessarily be what I would say to somebody.
So if they did it, would you say that was wrong?
No, not at all. If that's what their choice is.
So you don't disagree with Dawkins?
No. You
said you did.
No. I think he's wrong in telling someone that that's what they should do.
She asked.
Yeah, I know. But I still think but the answer is, let's pretend we're in the situation. Go ahead, ask me. What should I do with my baby, right?
Right.
Scott, how do you feel?
So
I would want to present the evidence to you of what it is that you're going to have to go through in your life now. So for him just to spout off out the mouth and say, abort it, is wrong.
Okay.
Right? You need to go, I need to sit down with you.
Well, why is it wrong?
What's that?
Why is it wrong?
Because he doesn't, maybe this person wants to go down that path. I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life. I'm not going to say you have to follow this rule and that rule and boom, 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 boom.
So
right?
The atheists
and really, and I'll get back to it again, you keep saying the logical conclusion. The only logical conclusion that you guys have is believe in Jesus, and then it's done. Done. Kill, murder, rape, pillage, all in the Bible, all sin, and you guys can do it. Because if you say sorry, you go to heaven.
Humans are created in the image of God, and therefore have value beyond that of other creatures. This is the big issue.
Yeah, I know. This is so evolution. But this is the same evolution.
It's the same shit that you do to me for years. You pick the acts of bad Christians and then hold that against Christianity.
No, I don't.
Bullshit. You just did it.
No, I don't.
And you've done it to me for years. So
what's wrong with Christianity? What's wrong with Christianity? The wrong with Christianity is grace. It's fucking stupid. It's the dumbest thing that anybody has ever heard of. Only second to that there's a man in the sky that cares about me. Are you fucking kidding me? There's not a shred of evidence for it. Show me some evidence, actual evidence, and then I'll think about what
Eliot's real problem is faith requires courage, right? It does. Faith requires courage.
No, it requires blindness.
See, I thought that for years. I thought I was on your team, right? I know. I thought that like all these people, like, man, these guys are so weak. They can just put all their problems on God and not face the real world. That's what I believed.
Yeah.
Right. But when I had to take that leap of faith, when I could feel that, and I started moving towards that.
Why did you come to Jesus and not Allah? Born in America.
Must be it.
This is the other favorite thing, like
his favorite thing is to not let me finish my sentence.
But ask Scott how the timer went last time. The timer went first. He got fucking destroyed on the debate style. He got destroyed. You don't even want to do the debate style. But go ahead, finish your point. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what the fuck I was saying.
Faith takes courage.
It does take courage. It takes a ton of courage, man. What you're doing takes no courage. You're like this. Well, I'm just going to see. Listen, it doesn't. Dude, you're like, well, if it can be proven, then I'll believe in it. And if they prove it's different, then I'll believe in that. You just like jump ship every, like,
you want to believe in something that has no evidence because it makes you fucking feel good.
It makes. What if it makes everyone feel good?
It does.
Hey, what about this? What about this? What if we don't talk about all the Christians that have killed people?
Let's do it.
What if we just talk about this right now?
Yeah.
That the book that I follow gives me a blueprint to be giving and to treat people with love and all of these
Good
things.
for you.
Awesome shit, man.
Great
shit.
for you.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Now, a lot of people discover that and then they use it as a tool to, manipulate people, control population, and all this shit. Because that's what people do.
Yes.
Because people are fucked up.
Yes.
That's exactly why they need Jesus. Because they.
Why do they need Jesus? You can do it all without Jesus. I said it to you the other day. Look in the fucking mirror. Have some actual courage and deal with your problems. Have some actual courage. Don't fucking put it off on some imaginary man in the sky that's going to let you do whatever you do instead. Who's interrupting me? Who's interrupting now? Yeah. That's going to let you do whatever you want. That's going to let you do whatever you want. And then all you have to do is go, oh my Lord, I'm so sorry. I have done whatever it is. Not even bad.
There's an alternative. The alternative is that you pick on people at practice because that makes you feel better. So maybe I'll be kind.
So I'm not attacking. So this is where it goes.
No.
This is where it goes.
You didn't attack us. Now you just told me to have some actual courage.
Because you said I had none. Where did it start, motherfucker? This is how Cody and I go,
I was shocked.
This is what I think.
I was so shocked the other day because he texted me. He's like, "We got to have Cody on the podcast." And up until then, he was like, "We can never have Cody on the podcast."
Because this is how it goes. Because he told me I have no courage, and I say it back now. Now he's going to say you pick on people, and this is how it goes.
I think that you pick on the faith, the courage that faith requires would be a gigantic leap for you.
For sure.
I think it is easier for you to say,
for sure.
Well, this guy's already proved this.
I don't need it.
Based off
but I don't need it, and I don't need all the bad shit that Christians do, right? I don't need all that. I'll just go with your God and all the bad shit that he does and has done. I'll just go that. We can just go that route if you want. Leave all the people out of it. Leave all the bad people out of it, right? Rape, murder, pillage, all good, right? He's done it. He's done it. He's
got raped.
What's that?
Got raped.
Okay, let's just go murder. Murder's the best one anyway, right? He's murdered millions. Him himself, more than any other living creature ever, right?
Sure.
And he's created disease so that we all die. Right? And some out of the children, I keep coming back to it. Hank proved me. Hank proved me wrong. It's not 9 million, it's 6.3 million last year. And I will say that Sam Harris's speech that he gave on that was the year before. So we got to look at like 2012, maybe 2011. Who knows? But we'll give a rough estimate of I'll go 6 million children died last year. You know?
Yeah.
Why do we have polio?
You get mad about death, but you've at the same time said we have to have it.
Of course, we're going to die.
So
I'm okay with that. No, I'm okay with death. I'm just not okay with the suffering of cancer. I'm not okay with the suffering
of
all
of
of this.
The cold that you've been wrestling with for the past
I know,
few
it
weeks?
sucks.
Are you allowed to have that? Is that okay?
Well, under your standards,
is God an unjust God for allowing you to have a cold?
Is he an unjust God for allowing me to have a cold? No, because I'm not suffering.
Where's the line?
Where does it stop? when somebody's 4-year-old can't get out of bed and is losing their hair and spitting up blood somewhere in there. It's like the abortion thing. I don't know where it is, right? But it's somewhere. That's where it stops. No. I don't need the pollutants. I'll just use fucking polio or influenza. I'll just do get off cancer. Get off cancer. Influenza, polio, all the other shit, bubonic plague, created disease by God, a living organism, because according to you, but not according to you, so this is where you get off of it, he created every living cell on the fucking universe. You gotta go on him about this. If you're gonna go on me, you gotta go on me. I will, okay. That's fine. I will. Okay?
You get really confused about the difference between a first cause and a second cause.
Oh my Lord. If he created all the things in the world.
No, this is a philosophical difference that matters, you know, and anybody who's taken Philosophy 101 remembers this, is that there's a difference.
You took it?
There's a difference between causing something, like he was saying, giving this person cancer, and then allowing circumstances where something can occur. So, hold on. So, getting back to God and his ultimate responsibility, the sin, the death, the disease, all the madness that we see on this planet is not something that you can ultimately pin on God. It is something that we did, and that he has put us under the death penalty.
And then he sends most of them to hell.
And then he's put us under the death penalty.
And then he sends most of them, not even death, but then he sends most of them to hell too. Because they're not Christian.
So now we're going to switch to heaven and hell.
But then, no. So he makes them suffer. So what you want to say, hold on, what you want to say is the second cause, right? Because he created it, he didn't put it on them, right? But then
God bears ultimate responsibility
did set up
for all this.
Yes, he set up the rules of the world, right? And the way this world works.
We broke them.
Right? And what's that?
And we broke them.
Oh, yeah, I know the snake.
We rebelled.
Yeah, the snake ate the fucking apple, whatever.
Facebook community.
What time is it?
Oh, yeah.
8:10.
8:10. All right, we got to roll.
Let's get done at 8.
What's that? We got to get done at 8. We got to back out here a half hour. We got out here. Will you just go 2 minutes on him and get him to fucking believe in evolution, please?
Why do you keep saying I don't believe in evolution?
Because you don't. You think God created man from dust.
Okay, so
what's the difference? What's the difference between God creating man from dust and us being made of dust, which was made of stardust? But if you're sitting down, Scott, that many years ago,
we come from a monkey. Or cousin. I don't want to say monkey because that's wrong. I know. Do we have a distinct relative of a monkey?
Well, like what's the guy that I gave you?
Francis Collins.
Collins will say that we probably came from a group of.
When you walk it back, we come from one single cell organism.
I don't know.
I believe we did. I believe that, and this is just my take, but I believe that the way that creation is explained and stuff in the Bible is explained so that a bunch of people that are herding sheep can understand it. I mean, how are you going to explain DNA and stardust and all that shit?
It's not a science book.
It's not a science book. It's a story.
But it is a science book because you see how the world was created.
Sure. So I'm an intelligent person who can look at an analogy. I can look at an analogy or a metaphor, and I can. So where do the metaphors stop and where do they end? Well, do you want me to talk to him or do we have to keep doing this, right? So that was a good one. So I believe that like the image of God having a big white beard and watching us, a man in the sky and all that. I think that that's just an image that we do to tell stories, right? Okay. I think that the Creator is the same thing that you follow. I think that I can use Christianity to almost science to almost help back it up. You know, like you can give me any kind of rule in science with evolution or whatever, and I can just show you how much awesomer how much more awesome God is because of that. Like an organism that's constantly
and almost half my battle would be gone.
Okay, but then
with religion, almost half of it would be gone if everyone took your point of it. Think about if everyone had your point of it. If everyone took religion the way you take religion, almost all of my argument would be gone. Half of it, anyway.
Think about how special it would be. And this is just an idea. I'm just going to need a 1 minute count. This is super quick, all right? What if God, and we may, after this, he may tell me, Cody, you're wrong and you need to pray. What if God, like, sprinkles life and then sits back and waits for the first one of these organisms to look up and talk to him? And that's us. And that does make us very, very special. You know what I'm saying? And
consciousness is a hard thing.
Yes, and us looking up and talking to him.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You don't know why we're conscious. You've said that numerous times.
Yeah, no, but I'm actually reading about it, right? I'm actually looking at what consciousness is, and it's really kind of crazy how many layers of consciousness are in our brain. We have 15
and
seconds.
how do we get it?
40 seconds? Yeah, we're not sure yet.
Right.
We're not sure yet, right? But you guys go from the not sure to must be God, and that's the biggest leap that you could possibly take in anything. We don't know. Just because the answer is I don't know, which is 99% of the information out there.
This just goes back to one of the debates that we had on the Facebook page, which is that you are relegated to having to kind of make things up as you go along, discover things, learn things the hard way, undiscover things, all that.
Great.
We can participate in all of that, yet still be grounded in actual morality.
No, my Lord, you're not moral. You're no more moral than I am.
That's the point.
You're no more moral than I am. All right, we're done.